Sanlam and the Shembe Family Trust have signed an MOU that, among other things, appoints Sanlam as its financial services partner and gives Sanlam exclusivity on providing financial services to members of the Nazareth Baptist Church and the communities that they reside in. Some of the products will include household insurance, funeral cover and investments. Products will be designed based on what each family needs individually and not as a collective under Shembe Financial Services. They are prepared to train up to 4,000 people, and this touches on the issue of unemployment. For more on this, I'm joined by Karl, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Sanlam Sky Solutions, in studio in Johannesburg, and Landile Shembe, who is a spokesperson for the Shembe Family Trust, joins us from our Durban studio. Perhaps I'll start there. Can you take us through the reasons why you chose Sanlam to partner with?
Hi and thank you. We took or embarked on a specific search for a partner, a financial services partner, from February this year. We were looking for a partner that would have capacity to service the 6.7 million members of the Shembe Church, and as well as reach out to the ones of about 2.1 million that is now sitting at home due to all sorts of issues in the Shembe Church. So we needed someone with capacity and we needed someone with experience. And so we did interviews of about 5 different companies, and Sanlam did their presentations, and they came out to be the ones that are most willing to partner with us and not sell us products from the shelf or off the shelf. They were prepared to actually look at customizing products and prepared to put money where their mouths were in terms of how much capacity they are willing to throw at training the people, the 4,000 people that you mentioned earlier, and to also take the 4,000 people from the church itself. And it is that attitude that we received from Sanlam and Ubuntu Butu as well, who have been rallying in some of the programs that the Shembe Church has been doing, and the fact that Ubuntu Butu had been there prior. And began to have a relationship with the Shembe Church, all the factions that is, that made it easier for us to be able to actually give them the naughty points that they deserved. But more importantly, it was really their attitude towards the church and how we can roll this out over a 20-year or 30-year period.
We've just heard speaking about the need to not have products that are just marketed to the community and sold to the community. Take us through from your side, as Sanlam Sky, what type of products you're going to innovate and how you're going to make sure that you tailor it so that people from the Shembe Church continue to be happy and speak about you with this kind of reverence.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. I think Landile has actually summarized the relationship quite well. You know, for us, this is more a partnership and a long-term partnership that we're getting into. And here, you know, Sanlam has got extensive experience in the design of bespoke financial wellness solutions for its target market. And so it's that expertise and that experience that we will be leveraging in building this relationship with the Shembe Family Trust. And you know, we have built similar relationships with similar entities, but the solutions that we design are always uniquely customized for the unique requirements of that particular customer. And certainly this is the work now that is going to start taking place. The teams are already hard at work in product design work. There will be product workshops that we'll be holding together with the church to look at what are the financial and the unique financial needs, aspirations, goals, so that we can design solutions that cater to those needs.
Let's go back to Landile in Durban. You spoke about your millions of members, about 6.7 million. How do you get buy-in from such a large community, especially knowing the difficulties that you have had in the past, such as perhaps with the Vodacom deal?
Okay. Well, there hasn't been difficulties with the Vodacom deal per se. However, there were factions or elements in the two factions that raised a point that they were not consulted. Now, I'm going to try and be very clear on this. This is a deal between the Vodacom deal itself that was signed 2 months ago on April 19, or agreed upon on April 19, is between the Shembe Family Trust, which is the oldest. It's about 45 years old. This was at a time when there was no factions, when it was instituted. It still remains a singular body that involves the family and the church as beneficiaries. So when we got to a point where last year, November, there was a judgment in court on just one of the factional fights, which was Ebuhleni, we were then able to entangle or disassociate ourselves with the fights that were ongoing. Now, if you look at the Shembe Church fight or court fight, you'll realize that it's a 40-year-old court case. There's 3 judges that have retired, 2 have passed on. And so it is not unfathomable that you can see another 40 years of court cases that will mushroom here and there. All the while, the member of the church is not benefiting. All the while, the role that the church should be playing in society is not being done. So it is it's not surprising that when we agreed and signed with Vodacom on the various streams, there were people who would love to keep the chaos in place because it serves them, and they then started making noise. They didn't realize that the bishops that they serve under are still part of the Shembe Family Trust. They didn't realize that the structure covers that the leadership of that they follow is actually covered in the Shembe Family Trust, which does not have chaos. It is not in court and shall not be in court because it does not trade. As you hear with us with Sanlam, we have created a company called Shembe Financial Services. That's the company that trades in terms of financial services. And we are doing this for the members of the church, not the factions. Factions can remain. There could be more, there could be less over the years, but the members, you know, a member of the Shembe Church can go into ShopRite Checkers. When you go through the door at security, they don't ask you which faction do you belong to. They go in there and they buy. If I can ask you to hold it there, I'd like to bring the discussion back into studio and ask you, we're hearing about this long protracted history. As Sanlam, and especially your division, Sanlam Sky, you've worked with the Public Service Union in providing services to a big bunch of people. What sort of challenges arise and how are you going to deal with them going forward?
Well, I think the important thing is just to appreciate the fact that, you know, Sanlam as a group is, next year it turns 100 years old. So this is an entity with very deep knowledge and expertise in the provision of financial solutions to its target market. Sanlam Sky as a business in and of itself, within the group itself, has got similar type relationships with big groups of customers that we then custom make. Firstly, the nature of the relationship that needs to be in place between Sanlam Sky and the customer that we're providing services to, the design of the solutions that we provide to our customers, the claims process, for example, whenever there's a claim that needs to be processed, and everything has to work in such a way that we continue to enhance the financial wellness of our target customers. And this is certainly something which we have extensive experience in. As you indicated, we've got a number of unions in one of our subsidiary companies under Sanlam Sky that we provide services to, and the like.
Thank you very much for your time.